society see that you are a single mother, what comes in their head is maybe you are living an immoral life. The past has already given you a wound in yourself, so you need to heal. When I became broken, my first focus was on God. When they got to know that I was pregnant, they were all disappointed. Everybody drew back, both family and friends. Society always assuming they judge you. I have to embrace the word single mother. I have to embrace it with courage and with love. And I felt there's no need for me to be ashamed of myself anymore. Always pray for the spirit of discernment. Invest into things that you think will bring in more income. I would tell my younger self I would have taken my time to take decisions carefully. My turning point was when I realized my son is a full responsibility on me. The presence of God gave me peace. It gave me relief to some points that I was even sleeping in church sometimes.
Sometimes God allows us to go through challenges like that so that we can find ourselves.
In the doorway of my home, speaking life over dry, broken stone.
Welcome to Builder's Cycle. This is a place where we have honest conversation, a place where we discuss things that empower women and encourage them to build a life of purpose, strength, wisdom, and a lasting impact. Today, we are going to have a very wonderful conversation because today our conversation is going to be different from every day. And in a little time, you would understand why the conversation is going to be different. But I am excited today because ever since we finished with the conference, we've been following up with things that happened at the conference. But today we are going to have a personal conversation that is in line with the conference. And I am excited because I have with me someone that is going to share a very insightful conversation that will be a blessing to us all. And so I invite all of you to join us. Sit back, don't go anywhere, and listen to what we are going to discuss today. Because I know that women, when we come together like this, it is usually powerful. Because a wise builder is usually intentional. Remember the reason why we are here: to empower you, to strengthen you, to give you the platform to understand who you are as a woman. And so today I have with me a very beautiful young lady here. And like I said, she's going to introduce herself and we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much, Mommy. I'm Sylvia, and I'm a marketer by profession. I went to Accra Technical University, and I work with an NGO which is called Rays of Hope Center. We normally support vulnerable kids, not just any kids, but kids who are brilliant and very needy. So we have a school which has been in existence for almost 2 years. So when we pick up these kids, we pick these kids who are from 7 years and above. And sometimes we enroll them into schools. We take off their tuition fees, and we make sure we impart a lot of good things into them.
Wow,
Yes.
Beautiful. Wow. So you pick the young kids on the street.
We used to pick them on the streets, but now we want to enter into schools. Maybe there are some schools that have students, maybe their parents are not able to take off their fees, but they are very brilliant students. We normally go to schools and talk to the teachers or parents so that we can take off this kids. Not like we are taking the kids fully, but we just take off their tuition fees.
Okay, you just empower them.
Yes.
Wow, beautiful. You see, this is what we are talking about, a woman but a wise builder.
Oh, yes.
Women go above and beyond to help the needy. And this is a beautiful thing you guys are doing for the less privileged. We'll dive deeper into our conversation. And I know that you are the right person for this conversation because our conversation usually based on empowerment.
Okay.
And just as you have told us that you guys empower children who need help and all that. Before everything, who is Sylvia?
Okay. Sylvia is someone who is very hardworking, determined, and very consistent in whatever I do. I have an online business I normally do is into clothing and footwear. So I sell them based on pre-order. I side me being a salesperson by profession and also working with an NGO. Yes, I would say I'm someone who is very hardworking and determined. Whatever I set my mind on, I make sure I achieve it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That tells me that you know your purpose, and you work towards whatever you
Yes, please.
That's beautiful. And growing up, we all have aspiration. We want to become something. We follow our dreams and things that inspires and makes us happy. When you were growing up, what were some of the things that you wanted to do, and some of the challenges that you encounter?
Okay, one thing is, I was raised by a single parent, so growing up has not been that easy in terms of finance, in terms of education. It has not been easy, and I love business. I love to be an entrepreneur, and I learned this from my mother because she's also into business. So growing up, I learned this from my mom that I want to grow up and be an entrepreneur. Yes, and I love to talk. I love to express myself. So that's how can I find myself into marketing. Sometimes what you eat or where to sleep is a problem.
I know that sometimes in life we sometimes go through these challenges and all that. I think this should refer to my Facebook called
Okay.
Mother Nest. I wrote something called the uniqueness of a woman.
Okay.
And I know that sometimes we women, we go through tough challenges, as parents. And many a times our children don't understand the kind of, sacrifice that mothers have to do for their children. And you did mention that even where to sleep is a problem and all that. So I want us to take us through, life. When you were growing up, how did you imagine your future? How did you, plan your life ahead? Because as you said, you've gone to the university, you're doing a marketing, and besides that, you have a side job. This tells me that this is someone who is determined, someone who is really building something, someone who will not give up, will not settle for less,
That is true. That
And
is
so I want you to tell us how did you imagine your future growing up?
Us growing up, I had a goal, I had a dream, and the dream was, as I said, to enter into business. But when I started, before I became like a single parent, I had a side
So you're a
business.
single parent
Yes,
yourself?
I'm a single parent. Online marketing. That is, I sell footwears and clothing. So I was very consistent with it, and I was determined. My aim was to maybe one day save enough money to be able to get a shop, and maybe probably one day be a wholesaler or a retailer in terms of clothing and footwears. And I want the aim is to be a household name. Like when anybody mention, like when it comes to clothing and footwear, when you mention, I want to be a household name in everybody's head. So that was the aim. But as along the line, and I got pregnant and things became a bit slowed, I couldn't do my business again. The moment as a woman, the moment you get pregnant, it draws you back a bit in life. So I became a bit slow in life, and I couldn't achieve what I wanted to achieve because the aim was to be an entrepreneur, and I couldn't achieve that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sylvia, I am very proud of you. When you say you are not able, you have done a lot for yourself, to me, because I know how many single parents will draw back, will fold their arms and just be lamenting in their predicament, and will not even strive to move forward. But listening to your story, I believe you have done a lot for yourself, because as a young lady, being a single mother, and trying to build something meaningful for yourself and your child, it's very inspiring. It's really very inspiring. And how did you overcome societal, sometimes when you're a young lady and you are not married and you have a child, everybody will be like, oh, she cannot, that kind of gossip and all. How did you overcome things like that?
There are so many ways someone can become a single parent, either maybe by divorce or being a widow or just
Yeah.
being a single mother.
Yeah.
Yes, mine is just being a single mother.
okay.
So the moment society see that you are a single mother, what comes in their head is maybe you are living an immoral life.
Okay.
But they don't know your story.
story, yeah.
They don't know what happened before you got pregnant. They don't know the
Exactly.
struggle you go through. They don't care about that. Society always assuming they judge you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I can imagine. So, you know how in Africa, especially, people would always, label you for what they see. Like I said earlier, you have done marvelously well. The fact that you're a single mother does not mean your dreams should end.
Oh, yes.
The fact that you are a single mother does not mean the gift of God upon your life has ended. In fact,
is true.
sometimes it's just the beginning of, sometimes God allow us to go through challenges like that so that we can find ourselves,
Oh,
you
yes.
know. And so I see you to be someone who is going to inspire women in the world. Because you are coming out. You are coming out strongly. To be in marketing, in the field of marketing is really me. I see to be brilliant people who go into marketing.
Yeah, if you can't
Because
talk,
if you're
you can't
not
be a
smart,
marketer.
right?
Yeah, if you
Because to me, I'm not a marketing kind of person. I totally would do bad if you give me anything to market or to sell. But then I'm okay when you have to, when you give me something like advocate or counseling or that kind of
Okay.
thing. That is
Yes,
my field.
yes.
You see, and so I'm very proud of you, and I really admire you.
Thank you so
So
much.
as our platform is to educate women to build wisely,
Okay.
and the Bible says a wise woman builds her house.
Okay.
I would like to ask you something. In your younger self, what
Okay.
would you have done differently?
Okay, I would have taken my time to take decisions carefully, because to me, I felt I rushed into things. Like, if I would have taken my time, I would have given a better opportunity for my child. I would have given a better choice for myself, because being a single mother, it is not easy. It comes with a lot of challenges, and people overlook it. It is not easy. So me, I would tell my younger self that I would have taken my time and relax and focus on myself.
Wow.
Yes.
See, it's very important that young women or young men, we usually would take time to assess a lot of things in life, but sometimes things happen, we don't anticipate.
That is true.
Things just happen, and most of the time it happened for a reason, and whenever we tend to face challenges in any form, we need to sit back and reassess our life.
That is
And just
true.
as you have said, as a young woman, what would you tell someone who has everything, but yet cannot make decisions that will move her forward? Because, sometimes people have everything. To me, I would say that I didn't have that upbringing. My parents, my father was a military man and he had a lot of children. I was the 12th born, but thankfully, my oldest one, they were all older before I grew up. So, I became the baby in the house and everybody was pampering me. That was a blessing. But, still life wasn't that easy. But there are some people, they are born with silver spoon,
Yes.
but yet they end up nothing. And being young, you see, because they have everything, they play around with their lives. And I have seen a lot of young ladies that when I approach to talk to them, they don't even know what they want to do. They don't even know what they want to do. All they do is I'm waiting for this man. Everything is about men. A man should do this for me. If I want to get married, and they mostly think that if I get married, I'll be complete. I'll be successful. What would you tell a young lady who doesn't know what to do with her life and waiting to be married before they can define who they are?
Okay, thank you for this question.
I know I have to put you through that.
Of late, it's like we thinking that getting married everything will be solved. I think that was in the olden days. Because of late, all the young ladies that I know, maybe if some are different, all the young ladies that I know, everybody's ambitious. Everybody wants to get something. Everybody wants to be doing something that will bring them income. So people are not really relying on marriage, that after I get married, everything will be fine. That is not a guarantee that after you get married, everything is going to be fine. No. One thing I would say is that commit yourself in the Lord. Put the Lord first in everything you do. Always pray for the spirit of discernment. When you pray for the spirit of discernment, you will not make any error in your life. And everything you make will be very perfectly. And another thing is that try and invest into something, because the money that you are born with a silver spoon in your mouth, it doesn't mean that money will be there forever. It can go at any time. And when it go at any time, what have you invested in yourself? What generational income are you bringing that when your children, when you are gone, what are they going to benefit from it? Invest into things that you think will bring in more income. Don't rely on the little income that your parents have given, because your parents' money is not your money.
Wow.
It can go at any time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sylvia, I'm very proud of you. You see, when young people learn how to invest in their lives, it's very important. Because, like I said, when we were growing up, our main idea was to grow up and get married and have children and all that. We were not thinking of what to bring to the table.
Yes.
But the youth today, if you don't have anything and you just go into marriage, you're just walking into problems.
That is true.
So it is very important that you've mentioned it, that the young women out there, especially those who are fortunate enough to have parents who had made it in life, that they should plan ahead and invest in their life.
Yes.
Because nobody knows tomorrow.
That is
Your
true.
parent can, excuse me to say, die. Money, you can lose money.
That
table
is
can
true.
turn.
That is true.
And when table turns and you don't have anything, you obviously will go down the drain. You'll be depressed. A lot of things can happen.
That is very true.
And I'm very happy you mentioned that. But I want you to tell me, as a young woman, I know that we all have some things that we inspire to or hope to have or to have done and all that. What did you growing up inspired to become? Because you said something earlier that you knew what you wanted to do. But because along the line you had a baby, you had a drawback a little bit. And
Yes.
so when did you realize that you cannot pursue the dream that you wanted?
I'm not financially stable.
Okay.
Yes. When I had my child, it drew me a bit far because family and friends ignored me for some time. Yes, because they were so disappointed in me. That was not their expectation for me, because they saw that I was a lady that it's like everybody was relying on me, both family and friends, because they have seen something in me that maybe I have not seen.
Okay.
So they were like, so when they got to know that I was pregnant, they were all disappointed. Everybody drew back, both family and friends. So I was all alone. So having a child, it drew me back a bit, and I wasn't financially stable, because even though I wanted to further my education, I wasn't that financially stable too. But even though I had vision to have plans for my life and to also be able to give my child a full support, because being a single parent, you don't have all the means. If the baby daddy is not able to provide for you financially, the child becomes fully dependent on you. And that is a heavy load.
Wow.
Because you are renting, you are paying bills, you are paying fees. It is a heavy responsibility.
That's the silent battles that
the silent battle.
people fight that we
Yes.
cannot see with our naked
Yes.
eyes. Wow. Did you ever feel like, oh, why me? Why is everybody, pointing finger at me? They won't even, get to know my problem. Did you come to that point in your life?
Yes, at a point I felt ashamed. That was when I realized I was pregnant. I felt ashamed of myself. But at a point in life, I have to embrace the word single mother. I have to embrace it with courage and with love. And I felt there's no need for me to be ashamed of myself anymore.
Wow, that's beautiful, because I do know that in society, especially in African society, people will jump into conclusion without even knowing your problem.
That
They
is
said
true.
they will end the story for you even before you start your own story.
That is true.
You know, and I'm very happy that you are a strong young lady, and I can tell that the future is going to be bright for you.
Amen.
You know, and I want you to tell us, what are the effects that you felt about some of these comments that people labeled on you? Like, you know, what's that, some of the effects? Did you feel like this thing they say or did to me got into my head?
Yes. Most of the negative words they said, it had a impact in my life by me having a low self-esteem for myself. And another thing, you know, society, the way they throw things at you, assuming things all the times. Even as a child, if you have a child as a single parent, sometimes it can have a negative impact on the kids too. Let's say, for example, you live in a community. Let's say you are in a neighboring, a rented apartment. Maybe you are about 4 people or 5 people in the house, and 3 people are married, and maybe one is just a single person without a child, and you as a single mother. You know, most of the time, the parents normally... we parents, we normally communicate with our kids a lot. So if the married couples, like, sometimes they'll be saying things about the single mother to their kids, then their kids will use that to be bullying the other kids, and it's going to have a negative impact on the kids' life. Yeah.
Wow. So this is wonderful. So this, you know, this means that, you know, as a single mother, we should always find strength, you know, to rebuild everything.
That
you
is
know.
true.
We should always so what time did you feel that this is the turning point? I will not allow negative thoughts or whatever people say about me or my child or my decision affects me. What was your turning point?
My turning point was when I realized my son is a full responsibility on me. Whether whatever I go through, any challenges that comes my way, I should be able to provide for his needs and wants. That was my turning point.
Wow, that's beautiful. You know, that's so beautiful. Because I've seen young women who run away and leave their children for grandma to raise them. And, you know, of course, they are not ready to take that responsibility, you know.
Oh, yes.
I believe you are a Christian, right?
Oh,
You
yes.
trust in God, and
Yes.
you know that with God all things are possible. You see, I've always believed in women that we are so strong and powerful in any ways that sometimes we don't even imagine.
That is true.
And in African society, when a young lady have a child out of wedlock, they always believe that, oh, your life is doomed.
That is
You
true.
know. So you going back to university, what inspired you to go back to school? Or, you know, you went to school before you had the child?
Yes.
So you after university before you had the baby?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Okay. So how old is the child now?
He's 5 years.
Oh, wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Do you see yourself moving forward in life, or you've seen yourself to be broken?
I don't see myself to be broken. When I got pregnant, that was when I was a bit broken. But now I don't see myself to be broken at all, because I feel I have embraced it. And God being so good, I've been able to gather some confidence to move in the society.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful. And you should always carry that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in life, when other people cannot be you, they will try to pull you down.
That is true.
With whatever they will want to label you to be. Oh, she's like this. She's not even beautiful. She can't even do this. She doesn't speak good English. They see in their head, they want you to do what they want.
That is
you know.
true.
And it's always best to allow God to lead you.
Mm.
You know, and sometimes when we face challenges, rebuilding our life is the biggest thing most women face,
That is very
especially after divorce, you know, after losing a loved one, after losing your job, you know, and you know, rebuilding anything is the hardest thing that usually challenge us as women. And I know that the strong woman would always fall but would rise 7 times,
That
no
is
matter
true.
what,
That is true.
what happens to her. So I want you to encourage someone who is watching us today. Maybe the person is now starting life,
Okay.
looking into doing something to either build herself,
Okay.
inspire herself,
Okay.
or others, or
Okay.
try to rebuild her life from
Okay.
something that happened to her in the past that she can't get out of it.
Okay.
I want you to talk to her.
One thing I have to say is that don't allow your past to have an effect into your life. Don't always reflect on it, because the past has already given you a wound in yourself. So you need to heal. If you don't heal, how can you forgive yourself? The first, when you are forgiving yourself, then whatever you set your mind on, whether you want to rebuild your life, whether you want to go back to school, work on it, work towards it, be consistent with it, be determined and be focused. And the last thing is, always put God first in everything you do. Without God, nothing is going to work for you.
Wow.
So put God first in everything you do, and you are going to make it with determination, hard work, and consistency. Everything is going to be fine.
Wow, put God first
Yeah.
before anything. With God, all things are possible. That's what the Bible says, that with God, all things are possible. But one thing that I would love for you to share with women out there, healing is not an easy thing to come by.
That is true.
People can be acting, looking happy, and pretending all is well, but yet inside they are broken.
Yeah.
I know a lot of women who are out there and people see them to be strong women.
That
They are
is true.
doing everything that we see to be well, but within them they are broken. They need to heal.
That is very
You
true.
know. And so I want you to tell us, how do you heal? How do you think that someone who is in that situation can heal?
It is not easy to heal. When I became broken, my first focus was on God. I didn't need anyone, whether family or friend, because I felt relief anytime I'm in the presence of God. The presence of God give me peace. It give me relief to some points that I was even sleeping in church sometimes, because I don't know. Some of the church members will be like, "Go to your house," but I know what I'm looking for. I feel there's an inner peace with God. The moment you get close, the moment you get broken, the only person who can comfort you is God. He will help you to heal. He will heal all the wounds within you, and everything is going to be okay. So just focus on God, meditate on the word of God, just be prayerful, try and get close to God. Maybe if going to some church activities, maybe going for Bible studies or anything, all these things can calm you down. God is the only thing that can calm you down, and God is the only thing who can heal you. That's what I can say.
Wow. And so, healing, like you said, healing, it doesn't come by easily.
Yes.
And it's usually the hardest thing women face in life, to totally heal. We can overcome it, but to truly heal is usually hard for women. And like you said, if only we can rely on God, or believe in ourselves and search within you, and know that the fact that you are broken does not mean it is the end of
That
your
is true.
life. Because God is always there to make things better. Just
That's
go and
true.
talk to him. Many a times when we are broken, we are waiting for someone to come and lift us up. And it is hard. There's nobody there to lift you
No,
up.
you
Because
have to
when
lift
you were
yourself
born,
up.
you were born alone,
That is true.
You were born alone. So we should always trust that the love of God is there to empower us to
Yes,
overcome
yes.
any challenges in life. And I know that with God, all things are always possible for those that believe in
That
him.
is true.
We've had a lengthy conversation today. I'm really excited about some of the information that you have shared with us. People see brokenness to be the end of life. And usually when they are not healed, they behave in their mind, they are behaving well, but they don't see what they exhibit out there.
That is true.
Because when you are broken, you don't focus on on anything. You are just emotional about everything.
That is true.
All your mind is in that situation you have gone through.
That is true.
Especially bitterness about women who are divorced. Every man is a bad man. You know, they don't like to see the bright side of marriage. They will just come out and talk about how their life was worse because another man made it worse. That's okay. You see, things happen, and many women don't understand that. Our life is not defined by another person.
That is true.
Our life is usually defined by God. And it is about time that women get to know who they are. Understand that when you get married, it's a blessing, but it's not a complete of your life. Because your life is complete by the things you do every day.
That is true.
Your happiness depends on everyday journey of life. And so, compliment your husband, your partner, but know that it is not what makes you complete. And so today I want you to share with us, as a single lady, what do you inspire, to see yourself in the next 10 years? Like me, Sylvia, in the next 10 years, this is where I want to be.
Okay. In the next 10 years, 10 years by this time, I have my own shop. I've worked towards it. I have my own shop. I'm into clothing and footwears. I'm globally known. And maybe I will start, by 10 years, I should be globally known. And I should be doing well for myself and my son too. Because I've realized something. I've discovered something about my son, and I want to push him into. I've seen a career that he wants.
Already?
Yes.
Wow.
So I want to, by 10 years time, I should have enough money to push him into that career that I want him to be. He loves football.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So maybe I'll push him into that, and yes, he'll be doing well for himself too.
Beautiful. But kids, they change. By the time he's 10 years, you have another dream. Anyway, so this is what I want to ask you. This is personal, but I feel like a young lady listening to us would want to know, or would want to learn. Going through being a single mother and everything you have gone through in life, do you see yourself falling in love again and starting another relationship? Genuine one. Do you see yourself into, another relationship?
Yes, I see myself into that. But being a single mother, I need to be extra careful. One thing is that me, I'm a type, I really love God. Since I love God, I love to pray. And one thing is that the moment you start praying too much too, God will start revealing himself to you too. So if you're a man and you come here are deceiving me, I'll have a feeling within me that no, this person, even some of the things that they say, some of the men approach, but you feel no, this is not the right person. But I will give myself a chance to love again if only the Lord has given me the right person. Yes,
that's very beautiful. But did you see? Do you think that you got too closer to God because of what happened to you?
Yes.
See?
Yes.
So sometimes when we go through stuff like that, God would use us to get closer to us so that he can use you for his glory. So I can tell that there's a bigger assignment that God wants to use you for. That is why, he first started you with all these challenges that you've been through.
That is true.
But, to my own, I won't say experience, but my own thought. And just as you said that, you will give yourself another, and I'm glad that you didn't let that to draw you back, because many young ladies, when they have a child, they feel like, because I've been disappointed, I don't want to. And because I've seen a lot grown women, because they had a child 19 years ago, they stayed at 19. Even my own, I have a very good friend. She passed away. She had just one child. And because of that failed one, she stayed and was so hard on men. And she worked hard. She became a manager. She had a lot of, material gains. But she never got married because she became like a tiger to me. She became like a tiger to any man that comes around. She wants to suppress men to do what,
Yeah.
a little thing she will suspect. Oh, you two, you have started, then she will sack you. So I could tell that with her, she was not healed.
Yes.
And she was always projecting that on other relationships.
Yes.
And she stayed there like that till she died. And so I'm happy that you said you give love another chance, by letting God guide you to it. Sometimes I believe as a woman of God that we make our choices. The Bible says we will make that choice and then we'll take it to God and ask God to what? To bless it or to honor it for us. And so sometimes before you meet someone and your spirit tells you that this man will be a good match, then you go to prayer with God. Sometimes you can look at the person and tell that this person cannot be a good match, but you'll be surprised that he would be rather, the right person for you.
That
And
is
so
true.
I'm very excited that you have not taken it into that place where you feel like this is a failure for me and I don't want to revisit it. It's not a failure. It's actually a blessing. Because for you to get closer to God, it is the will of God. And that beautiful boy, you never know he'll become the next Obama in Ghana, the next president, John Mahama in Ghana someday, so it's a beautiful gift God has given you. I want us to go back to our previous discussion.
Okay.
You told us about what you do and what your organization is doing
Okay.
for the vulnerables.
Yes.
Would you share with us where to find the organization, and then if someone is willing to come and support the organization, how to go about it, and the number if possible,
Okay.
and how we can actually reach out to you people.
Okay. Thank you so much. So if someone wants to support a Race of Hope Center, you can get in touch with me because I work as the supervisor and also as a facilitator in the school. So we are located at Ayukuma. We have two branches. One is at Ashiaman and one is also at Ayukuma. So in case you want to get in touch with Race of Hope Center, you want to support us so that we can reach out to more vulnerable kids. We can take more kids from the streets and educate them. You can reach out to me. The number is 0242 056049. The number again, 0242 056049. I'm Sylvia. So thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Sylvia, for this information. I would love to come in and also support your organization.
Okay.
But before we wrap up, when we talk about building, people think that building is in a place of or a
Gosh.
foundation of perfection, or a place where everything is okay. That's when you can build upon.
Okay.
But your story have made us to understand that it's not only in a place of glamorous,
Yes.
where we build. We actually build from where there's brokenness, where there's imperfection, where
is
there
true.
is distractions and all that. That's when we rebuild ourselves as women. And so today your conversation to me has inspired me, and I believe it is inspiring some young lady out there who believe that after some short challenges or a few ups and downs, their lives is over and they can rebuild themselves. Your story has really inspired me. So I want you to share with the young women out there, just your last comment. What do you think someone listening to you should do to empower herself, or should even join a woman by the wise builder? I mean, for us to be able to build wisely as women.
Okay. Thank you so much. What I have to say to the woman listening to me, a broken woman listening to me, is that learn to forgive yourself. You can't always be reliant on your past. The past really hurts, and sometimes it takes time, it takes years to forget about all this, but you need to heal. It is very difficult, but you need to heal and you need to move on in life. After you move on in life, find something that you love to do, maybe a skill work, or maybe you want to go to school, you want to work. Just find something that you can do to keep you going so that you can also empower other ladies. Maybe your story can also encourage someone out there. Your story can also help someone who is out there also watching you, because there are lots of people who are also relying on you. So don't think people are nowhere. People are relying on you. So please work on yourself and everything is going to be fine.
God bless you. Powerful. Thank you so much, Sylvia. You see, life can be very challenging. Many a time, when we go through setbacks in life, we tend to quell ourselves in our comfort zone. But God is always challenging us in every way in life, that whatever happens to you, remember that He's the center of all things.
That is true.
And this platform is meant for every woman. We intend to give women the voice to rebuild their lives. I know that many a times life may, require you to rebuild your plans. Sometimes life may not be the way you want it. And sometimes people will cancel themselves even before they try. They try to do anything. They will cancel themselves. And so I want to encourage everyone. Your story is bigger than you can ever imagine. Don't let your story die just because of one distraction or even 2 or 3 distractions. You are a great and a bigger person in yourself. And so discover who you are and stand out. You are not broken just because of divorce. I'll put it that way, because God allows it. Christians, we were taught that divorce shouldn't be, an option. But sometimes it is an option. When life is too challenging for you and your life is at stake, you go for the divorce. And trust me, that's when you can rebuild yourself and you see life in a different way. I advised every woman who is watching us today or watching this episode. Today, Sylvia's conversation is an inspiring conversation to every woman. The fact that, you are single and a single mom does not mean you cannot fulfill your dreams. Your dreams should be the biggest picture you see every day in your life. And if you vision it that way, I believe that you overcome it. The little things you do every day can become the mighty thing tomorrow. And so don't stay there and cry or lament over the challenges that the enemy bring to your doorstep. With me, I know that God has placed something bigger in every woman. And if only we can challenge ourselves and let go the pain and let go the setbacks and let go the things we hear in our mind that we are not enough, we cannot do it, we would be able to fulfill our divine calling. Every woman is a builder. Yes, you can do it. Others have done it. God has put in you His Spirit, and He did not put in you fear. And so rise above that fear and challenge yourself. I would encourage every woman to subscribe to this channel so that every week when we have something inspiring, you will be the first to listen to us. And my book, A Woman But a Wise Builder, is for everyone. Trust me, when you grab a copy, you'll be a blessing, because I've highlighted a lot of information, a lot of tools that will help you in every area of your life. Think about work, think about marriage, think about, life, think about job or training, raising children. Think about ups and downs in life. It's in that book. When you grab it, every message in that book will be a blessing to you. And so grab a copy. Go to mabelzango.com and you will see all the materials that I have put together to be a blessing to you. Remember, a woman but a wise builder has come to stay, has come to inspire. It has come so that you and I would get away from our slave mentality and do something better for ourselves. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Bless you. Bye-bye for now.